source. And of course, become a friend on Facebook. We have our Facebook Live sessions every week where we answer your questions live. I'm Trevor Cochrane. I'll see you next week for the Garden Gurus.
This is 9 News First at 5 with Peter Hitchener.
Good afternoon. Hawthorn captain James Sicily is standing firm after a heated confrontation with Port Adelaide coach Ken Hinkley in the wake of last night's AFL semi-final. Nat Yannidis has the details.
His team just scored a thrilling 3-point win to book a date with Sydney in next weekend's preliminary final, but Ken Hinkley has made headlines for the wrong reasons. He's been issued a please explain by the AFL after taking aim at Jack Ginnivan as players walked off the ground last night. Now, Hawks captain James Sicily came to the forwards' defence then and again this morning.
Don't regret it one bit, really. It's not the first time that Ken's done that, won't be the last, but it's an emotional game and sometimes it gets the better of us. What I do as a leader is I'll always have my teammates back and I'll stick up for them, regardless of who's in the right and who's in the wrong.
Hinkley took exception to a social media post Ginnivan made to former teammate Brodie Grundy last week, suggesting the Hawks would beat Port and face the Swans next weekend. It's a decision the power coach now regrets.
There was stuff said during last week that I certainly didn't enjoy. But I shouldn't have let that moment get to me.
What did you say?
That should just stay private.
It's not the first time a coach has targeted an opposition player. Essendon coach Kevin Sheedy infamously directed a cutthroat gesture at Eagle Mitchell White back in 2000. Now, this incident did take some of the gloss off Port Adelaide's thrilling win and also Luke Bruce's 300-game celebration.
And Port Adelaide fans looking to make the journey to Sydney for the preliminary final are facing soaring flight prices. Qantas and Virgin fares start from $600 one way, with some even as high as $1,000. Tickets for the match go on sale for members from Monday, while registrations for the grand final ballot open on Wednesday. A mother has faced court after being charged with the murder of her 2 sons at their home in the New South Wales Blue Mountains. Marcelia Eiley has the latest.
Patricia Smith appeared via video link here at Parramatta Court today, still in her hospital gown, her left arm heavily plastered. In the stands, her family and friends who were there to support her. Police documents tendered to court claim the 42-year-old allegedly murdered her 11-year-old and 9-year-old sons over a 17-hour period from Monday night to Tuesday afternoon. She did not make an application for bail, her lawyer telling 9 News they're still waiting for a brief from police.
The investigation's still partly going through, from what I understand. It's an absolute tragedy in this particular respect, and there's a lot of people out there hurting. At this stage, I can't say anything more in relation to what's going to happen with the matter until we get all the material. But as I said, there's a lot of family members who are really hurting in respect to this, parents, grandparents and the like. And we'd ask that everyone respect that privacy because, as I said, right from emergency services who had to attend the scene and everything else, there'd be a lot of people out there that have been subjected to this, and in that particular respect, we've just got to let the course take its natural course in respect to getting the paperwork and going from there.
Trish Smith will remain in custody until she fronts court again in November.
Economists say a rate cut this year could still be on the cards. The revelation coming as the debate over how best to keep power bills down heats up. Federal politics reporter Claudia Vodoljak explains.
Both Labor and the Coalition are today campaigning here in Canberra, spruiking their plans to bring down power prices for Australian households, with 2 contrasting policies. In the first Australian city to be entirely powered by renewables, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese claims Australian voters are rejecting the opposition's nuclear policy as more families turn to solar. A recent report revealed that in opposition leader Peter Dutton's own state, 1 in 2 Queenslanders now have rooftop solar. South Australia not far behind, while 35% of families in New South Wales have it, and just 28% in both Western Australia and Victoria.
What these figures show is that voters themselves are rejecting the idea that nothing should happen until the 2040s. People know that renewables is the cheapest form of new energy. That's why they're putting it on their roofs.
These communities have not rejected the proposals that we put in place. We won't have a all renewables approach that no other country of the industrial scale of Australia is going down. It just simply cannot work.
While the uptake in renewables is growing, the data highlights there is more work to be done, and climate groups are calling for more investment to boost battery storage.
Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has hit back at billionaire Elon Musk for labelling the Australian government fascists. In a post on his platform X, the tech giant criticised Labor's attempt to tackle misinformation on social media.
Well, social media has a social responsibility. If Mr. Musk doesn't understand that, that says more about him than it does about my government.
Under the proposed laws, social media platforms could be fined up to 5% of their annual turnover for spreading misinformation online. Residents in Adelaide's East have rallied against a proposed new apartment complex that would be the tallest outside the CBD. Dylan Smith reports.
There's been strong community pushback to a proposed 20-storey apartment complex in Adelaide's eastern suburbs. Hundreds of concerned locals turning out in Glenside this morning, making their feelings heard.
People were sold an absolute lie. People here bought off the concept that there would be a mixture of high rises, 4 stories, 6 stories, but no more than 8.
I'm very disappointed. I bought into this area, the last of my life savings, for a peaceful, final few years.
Private developer Cedar Woods seeking to amend the planning and design code for new residential apartment buildings at the Glenside development.
This is just quite simply unfair for the people that have bought into this development here at Glenside in good faith on the basis of a very different plan.
They're wanting to increase the maximum height of new residential builds from 8 stories to 20. Locals worried the infrastructure won't be able to handle an increase in residents.
The impact on the parking and the traffic. You have 20 stories and getting in here, there's only one way to get in and 2 ways to get out.
In a statement, Housing Minister Nick Champion says there's a rigorous and robust process for any proposed rezoning, including community consultation.
Police in Western Australia are on the hunt for more officers, launching a $1.5 million advertising campaign to bolster the force. Jamie Freestone has the details.
People like you, that's what WA Police say they're looking for as they launch their new recruitment advertising campaign. The ads, which will start hitting screens tonight, feature real police officers in everyday situations.
People who can handle hurdles, who like bikes, planes, power tools.
More than 100 officers were filmed across 26 different locations in WA to capture the various scenarios recruits will find themselves in. The advertisements also include some of the lighter aspects of policing, as well as the difficult side of the job. Constable Zoe Kestel is among the officers featured in the campaign. She's been with the force for about a year.
And I absolutely love it. Come to work, something different every day, hopefully make a difference in someone's life when you turn up to a job. You never know what you're going to get on that day.
We know it's a tough job. It's a 24/7 job in our community, but it has a lot of wonderful parts to it as well, and that's what this campaign says. If you're a good member of our community, you've got integrity and you want to join up, we want you.
783 people joined WA Police last year, the highest number on record, but more than 400 left the force. The advertising refresh comes as the government continues to chase its target of growing the force by 15%.
The Victorian government has defended the mega cost of this week's police operation following protests at the city's weapons expo. Treasurer Tim Pallas claims the 3-day event generated $70 million of revenue into the economy, justifying the cost of the bolstered police presence. More than 60 arrests were made since last Saturday and nearly 30 police officers were injured.
I think the success of land forces will be judged by the work that comes for Victorian industry. The bill is sadly the bill, and the people I blame for the bill being as large as it is are the violent protesters that made an absolute nuisance of themselves.
Tim Pallas says he's open to hosting the event in Victoria again, but concedes it would likely to be held at a different venue. 2 American astronauts stranded on the International Space Station have spoken publicly for the first time since their capsule returned to Earth without them. Here's US correspondent Lauren Tomasi.
The Stuck in Space duo say they're really quite happy to be there. Butch and Sunny talking about the highs and lows of living in space.
This is my happy place. I love being up here in space.
Despite their Boeing Starliner spaceship heading back to Earth without them last week, the stranded duo say they're looking forward to the next few months that they'll spend on board the ISS. These are the first public comments Butch and Sunny have made since that Boeing Starliner vessel left the ISS, and Butch and Sunny said the problems with that craft were pretty obvious to them, but they don't feel let down by this mission. In fact, they were happy to see it return safely to Earth. Of course, this trip was meant to be an 8-day round journey when the pair left back in June, and it's now turned out that the astronauts will be in space on board the ISS for 8 months. They won't be coming home until February next year when they hitch a ride with Boeing's competitor SpaceX. Despite the unexpected extension, the pair are mentally prepared.
Be resilient. You have to go with what the good Lord gives you, whatever that is.
Butch and Sunny have a pretty strict exercise regime to maintain up in space, lifting weights daily to maintain their bone density. The pair talked about the plans that they've had to put on hold as well. Family gatherings, Christmas, and there's also another big date coming up here in the United States, the presidential election. But the pair will be having their ballots on board the ISS.
I sent down my request for a ballot today.
Today marks their 100th day in space, and Butch and Sunny are settling in just fine. In fact, Sunny will be taking over as the ISS station commander for the next little while until the pair return in February.
In the news ahead this afternoon, thieves snatch a Banksy artwork worth $500,000 from a London gallery. The red carpet rolled out to honour Australia's Olympic and Paralympic swimmers. And visitors flock to the west to catch the wildflower season bursting into life.
On 9 News, the Powers Premiership dream still alive as coach Ken Hinkley is issued a please explain for this fiery post-match exchange. Suburban outrage over plans for a 20-storey tower in Glenside, and the world's biggest gratitude lesson taught right here in Adelaide. 9 is your news.
Oh.
This is like a butterfly garden.
Sweet. Oh.
The model's working perfectly. Thank you very much.
A happy place for adults with disabilities until a charity took control.
Blowing apart this good news story.
It's been quite shocking, actually.
A current affair tonight.
Terry White Chemmart has real deals on your favourite weight loss brands. Try the Man Shake and the Lady Shake birthday cake, Optifast VLCD Shake and Tony Ferguson Classic Shake. Get real deals every day at Terry White Chemmart, dedicated to care.
It's a lifestyle cruise, Dad.
So?
It's a code for swingers.
Swingers?
The Puzzle, playing at the Dunstan Playhouse from September 20.
Spring into savings with La-Z-Boy and save big across the entire range, like 20% off all sofas and modulars and 15% off all La-Z-Boy recliners. Or discover our new Temper recliner at the low price of $1,999. Visit Jaffers Furniture or the Chairman today.
It's the sale you've been waiting for. Beacon's up to 50% off everything sale is on now. With massive discounts on lamps, fans, pendants and more. Get up to 50% off everything now at Beacon.
Ready, set, run out. Race into your nearest Hyundai dealer for bonus offers of up to $3,000 across a range of petrol and diesel vehicles. Whatever you drive, we've got a deal for you. Hyundai Run Out is on now. Ready, set, run out.
The most spectacular Sunday reveals of the year. Sunday, 7 o'clock on 9.
Two men have been charged with the theft of one of Banksy's most famous artworks from a London gallery. Europe correspondent Hannah Sinclair has more.
There was up to $3 million worth of artwork on display here at Grove Gallery in London when the famous Girl with Balloon print was stolen. Security footage shows a person in a black hoodie and gloves using their body weight to smash down the glass door of the gallery before snatching the artwork off the wall and taking off down the street with it.
The guy, he was watching me. I closed the business just next to the art gallery and he broke the window just 5 minutes after that. It was not much security for one of the most famous painters in the world.
The artwork that was taken, Girl with Balloon, is one of artist Banksy's most well-recognised pieces and is worth around $500,000. It first appeared in London more than 20 years ago with the quote, "There is always hope." It was part of an exhibition showcasing the England-based street artist's work. This isn't the first time a Banksy artwork has been targeted in recent months. Two of his animal murals were defaced and his lone wolf work on a satellite dish was also taken by a group of masked men. Police were called to investigate the break-in and within days have charged two men with burglary and have managed to track down the artwork still intact and return it to the gallery.
37 people, including 3 Americans, a Briton, Belgian and Canadian national, have been sentenced to death in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The group is accused of participating in a botched coup to overthrow the president and have 5 days to appeal the sentence. 6 people died during the opposition-led attacks in May. And Pope Francis has weighed in on the US presidential election, urging Catholic voters to choose the lesser evil. The pontiff described both candidates as against life while speaking to media on board a flight from Singapore. He particularly criticised Donald Trump's tough immigration stance and called Kamala Harris's abortion position assassination. Tourists from across the country have flocked to Western Australia as the wildflower season comes alive. The West is home to more than 12,000 native plant species, with more than 60% of them only found in WA. Australia's best swimmers have been honoured in Brisbane for their efforts across the Olympic and Paralympic Games. Josh Bavis went along.
Swimming royalty has been celebrated here at the Black Tie Swim Australia Awards 2024. The stars of the pool across the Olympics and Paralympics have been greeted with the red carpet at Brisbane's Howard Smith Wharves. Australia won 18 Olympic medals in the swimming in Paris, including 7 gold. You've been reliving those moments in Paris, going over it in your mind?
Honestly, no. I haven't really thought about swimming once. It's cool to look at my medals when I need to get them out for things, but I have been trying to disconnect as much as I can and just relax a little bit and not think too much about the Games.
I think Paris for all of our athletes was really quite fantastic. The Games went very well, and when you consider that we've come out the other side of it with the amount of success we've had for this little country, I think we can all be extremely proud.
At the Paralympics, an incredible 27 medals, including 6 golds. Today also gave Brisbane fans the chance to welcome and congratulate our Queensland sporting heroes with an official welcoming home ceremony at South Bank, where they were gifted with the keys to the city.
To come back and see all the people here, it's really real when you see everyone and all the little kids just absolutely pumped for you. Yeah, that's pretty special.
This wraps up an incredible campaign across the last 2 months. It's hoped this has inspired the next generation of athletes in the lead up to Brisbane 2032.
Coming up in sport, the Hawks returned to Melbourne after last night's heartbreaking semi-final loss to Port. The Panthers book a spot in the NRL preliminary finals, and England levelled the T20 series against Australia.
She could be the most powerful person on the planet.
I accept your nomination.
On 60 Minutes.
Kamala is worse than Biden. She's actually not as smart.
Who is the real Kamala Harris?
This is a tough lady. From the personal...
Was she a great love?
Very much. To the presidential.
She has been described as a bully.
All will be revealed.
We want to know the dirt.
Plus, blasting our diggers.
Evidence of accelerated ageing.
The devastating brain injuries ignored by defence bosses. Sunday.
Key. You had the key. You had the key. Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
At Carpet Giants, the way we buy
is the way you save up to 60% off.
We buy factory direct ends of rolls.
This is an end of roll.
We've got your
whole home covered.
Carpet Giants, Stamble Road, Salisbury Plains.
At the Nick Scali Spring Clearance, save 50% off the Cypress Modular, only $27.90. That's half price, $27.90. Only at Nick Scali.
Hey Adelaide, love earning points and perks? Celebrate our birthday and earn 15,000 points with us. Join now and earn rewards with every purchase. Shop in store now for cashbacks and competitions. Chemist King, for service, price and advice.
UniSuper's in-house investment team drives lower fees, meaning award-winning value for Australians 3 years running. See a future worth retiring for. Join UniSuper today.
Hard to reach stains? Try Harpic Fresh Power Tablets. Simply drop and go to help remove stains. Clean where the brush can't reach with new Harpic Fresh Power cleaning tablets. For easy toilet cleaning, try Harpic tablets today.
Catching up with family and friends at home is always a special time. Make life easy with a welcome hand from your local Barnacle Bill. It's Barnacle Bill for seafood and much, much more.
You work it out.
Me.
Don't race all over town. Beaumonts have it all. Buy a complete bathroom package and choose a free hot wire heater towel rail or Zoomy ceiling heater. Only at Beaumonts.
Finals is finally here.
It's that time of year. The experts unpack all the action from the finals. Footy Classifier, Monday on 9.
This sports report brought to you by Solomon's. There's magic in a Solomon store.
Hawthorn players are still reeling after suffering a heartbreaking 3-point loss to Port Adelaide last night. The young Hawks returned to Melbourne disappointed but proud of what they achieved this season.
Against all odds and expert opinion, to come out and win like 13 or 16 games and give ourselves an opportunity in 2 finals and winning one, I'm so proud of the club.
Port Adelaide will face Sydney in the preliminary final next week. The Panthers have welcomed back Nathan Cleary and the halfback loved every minute of it, laying on 3 tries in a 30-10 thumping of the Roosters, lifting Penrith into a preliminary final. The Clive Churchill medalist in full flight on his return from a shoulder injury.
I thought it was outstanding. Makes a big difference to our team just through not just the way he plays, but gives everyone confidence. And yeah, he's just got this knack of being able to be out for a while and be able to come back and just click straight into gear.
It's the 5th straight preliminary final for Cleary's men, who get a well-deserved week off. If the Roosters are to make the grand final, they'll need to do it the hard way, headed for a semi-final against either the Bulldogs or Sea Eagles. Mr Brightside has taken out the Mackay Diva Stakes. The champion racehorse beat Pride of Jenny to claim a 7th Group 1 win.
Mr Brightside wearing her down. Pride of Jenny, Mr Brightside, stride for stride, but Mr Brightside back to back. And net, Mr Brightside from Pride of Jenny in a great battle.
Next stop for Mr Brightside, the Cox Plate. To cricket, and Australia has gone down to England in the second T20 International. Victorian Matt Short took 5 for 22, but the hosts claimed a 3-wicket win with 6 balls remaining.
And the huge cheers of this capacity crowd here at Sophia Gardens tell you all you need to know.
The series is now level at 1-1. Tomorrow's forecast is next, but first here's a look at what's coming up in 9 News at 6.
Hello, tonight on 9 News, Port Adelaide coach Ken Hinkley issued with an AFL please explain for this fiery exchange after the Power's thrilling 3-point win over the Hawks.
Airfares to Sydney soaring as Power fans scramble to secure their spot at the prelim against the Swans.
A teenager airlifted to hospital in a critical condition after an under-17 footy final turned violent.
Banksy's most famous artwork stolen in London.
And an update from the 2 astronauts stranded in space.
We have been tasked to protect monuments and art.
A stellar cast in history's greatest treasure hunt. The Monuments Men. Tonight on 9.
Andy, can't stop, Ashwin. Loan application time.
Applying for a loan isn't as hard as you think. With an easy online application, ANZ GoBiz is the loan without the groan. Search ANZ GoBiz.
The Nick Scali Spring Clearance is on now with up to 50% off selected living, dining and bedroom furniture. Save up to 50% at the Spring Clearance. On now at Nick Scali.
Reversing's tricky.
Oh, no worries. You're with Budget Direct.
Moneybag's Insurer of the Year. 8 years in a row.
Insurance solved with Budget Direct.
Get a read on off-peak travel tips and bang for your buck holidays to make every dollar count in Escape. Plus, Body and Soul explores the digitisation of desire, how Aussies are swiping for love and lust. Only in the Sunday Mail.
Lumo Energy SA is fully Australian-owned and helps thousands of happy South Australians with easy energy plans and great rewards. Now we're proud to have been awarded CanStar Blue's Most Satisfied Customers Electricity SA for 2023. Thanks for helping us illuminate the positive South Australia. Lumo Energy. Join today for a brighter SA. Lumo Energy.
The Mazda M event is now on. Until September 15th, enjoy an M event bonus of between $500 and $1,500. Now is the perfect time to get into your new Mazda. Make the move today.
Allergies? Stay on top of your game. Telfast 70s now $29.99 at Chemist Warehouse. Australia's #1 hay fever brand. Nothing beats Telfast for fast, non-drowsy 24-hour action. Live, look, feel well at Chemist Warehouse.
Next week, be watching as we wrap up all the fabulous weekend finals footy action. An unrecognisable Colin Farrell joins us as he becomes the Penguin, Batman's arch nemesis.
Not that I'm complaining.
And we search out the booming regional centres where it's still possible to buy a family home for under 500 grand. See you next week.
This weather report brought to you by the Chemist Warehouse Footy Finals half-price vitamin sale. Shop in store or online today.
To the weather details now. A cold front has pushed through Tasmania and Victoria today, delivering a wintry mix of showers and snow across some parts. Tomorrow, the cold front will move out to the Tasman Sea, while showers are set to continue along the east coast. A high-pressure system will bring brisk and gusty winds in southern parts. A shower or two in Hobart, headed for 12 degrees, partly cloudy in Melbourne, a low top of 13 actually. A frosty start in the nation's capital before Canberra is set to reach 14 degrees. Some possible showers for Sydney after a low of 9, a windy top of 17, mostly sunny in Brisbane as it heads for 25 degrees. Blue skies in Adelaide, a top of 5. A low of 5, we'll call that, and a top of 17. Perth will continue its stretch of sunny days, headed for 25 degrees. Mostly sunny in Darwin, a low of 24 before a warm top of 34 degrees. And that is 9 News this afternoon. Our next bulletin is coming up at 6 o'clock. Thanks for your company. Bye for now.